Hey everybody, Eric Worre here, and we have a treat for you today, another of our top earner interviews, and we have a gentleman here who's got a little bit of a legendary story inside the network marketing pro community. Built something big. He and his wife both have independently built, but together as a married couple, they've created a dynasty and a real power couple inside the network marketing profession. But we have my friend, none other than Danien Feier. How you doing, Danien?
I'm amazing. I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Eric. Always a pleasure and honor. And let's talk about some big things for everybody.
Yeah. So, Danien, I want to kind of go back. I want to get some story established. Then I want to talk about next level stuff. Okay. Perfect. So those three topics are where I'd like to go. You're one of the most ambitious people I know. You're driven, ambitious, big vision. Was that always the case? Were you always ambitious? I mean, when you think back of you as a kid, what were you like as a kid?
So when we grew up, there wasn't much of anything. So we were always looking at the money and how much does everything cost. And
this was in Germany, right?
Yeah, this was in Germany. Growing up, I have two sisters, and when we grew up, like my parents, they didn't have a lot of money. Our kitchen table in the beginning was, you know, when you buy like fruits and vegetables, and they come in these big wooden boxes if you buy like more. Mm-hmm. And we had that flipped around with a white thing on it. That was like the kitchen table when we grew up. So I never thought we were poor. For me, that was like normal, because like there's always another level of everything, and there's another level of poor. But for sure, there was the lack was evident every day. You know, we didn't go to a restaurant that I can remember until I was 16 years old ever. Like going to a restaurant was like
a big deal.
A big deal, yes. And I remember my sister when she turned, I'd say 11. And I was, no, it was earlier. When she turned 9 and I was 13, my gift for her is that we went to have a pizza in a restaurant. So I was once before, just remember that. And we went to the supermarket to drink something first. And then I took her to the restaurant and we shared one pizza. When she was 9, I was 13. And it was the biggest thing that ever happened to us growing up. And we took the bicycle to do the groceries, to save the fuel from the gas from the car. We weren't in a hotel or anything. So what happened is, because of that, I always felt these limits. Like, why not have an ice cream? It was those little things. Like my parents, for example, they love to, I think in English you call it hiking, like just walking in the nature and all that, which is a beautiful thing, right? Mm-hmm. But imagine you do it and you get out really early in the morning, you come home really late, and you don't buy one thing, not a Coke, not a water. You don't like sit at a place in a cafe, have nothing. This whole little piece, like these few dollars. Nope. We're not buying anything. We're not going anywhere. We're like just walking.
We're walking, yeah.
And then it's like, why not? It could be so nice, right? And those little things really for me was just not to look at the price, but do something or have a little bit of more freedom. So yes, I became ambitious because of that.
So when did you make the decision that you said, you know what, I want more?
Very early. Probably when I was 11 or something, I started to do things like I started to sell stuff on the street. I like in front of a house, I set up a little booth and I started to sell stuff that I thought nobody needed. And my mom was shocked. I sold some stuff she needed, apparently very cheap. I took the food from the refrigerator and I built a little restaurant inside our kitchen, and I sold my food back to my parents. I opened up a casino once. I really did it like with paper and pen. It was creative and did a casino. I took my little sisters and we studied like a little circus, invited the neighbors. I was hardcore selling tickets for it. Then going to school, I was selling SIM cards that were activated from eBay because my friends' parents wouldn't allow them to have a phone. So I solved that problem, you know what I mean? All of these things. And in my room, growing up, I had a big painting. It was like a graffiti. I got it for my 16th birthday. A graffiti in my room with Scrooge McDuck on the money playing table tennis. So back then, like Donald and Scrooge, they were playing table tennis on the money in my room. So that's what I was looking at. My vision board.
What I find fascinating is, what if when you went hiking, they stopped at a restaurant and bought you a treat? What if you could have the ice cream? What if anything you wanted a bike, you had a bike? What if you went out to restaurants all the time? Would you have found that ambition, or was it created out of the lack? It's like what I talk about, the singer Adele. Mm-hmm. She talks about all the heartbreak and, mm-hmm. the guy treating her so bad. Well, what if that guy never broke up with her?
Yeah.
That masterpiece of an album would have never been created. So I wonder about this stuff sometimes. I mean, maybe because there's some people who grow up in wealthy households that stay ambitious. Mm. And some people get apathetic. Some people grow up with lack, like I grew up with lack, same as you grew up with lack. I mean, loving family.
Same.
Nothing to complain about.
Loving family, absolutely great.
But wanted to have a little bit more and decided to find that extra gear. So I just find it interesting. Yeah. Do you think you would have been ambitious anyway, no matter what?
Now being who I am today, I'd say for sure, but I'm not sure. Like I don't really know because I just wouldn't know, right?
Yeah.
The thing that I do find interesting is when people grow up with like a rich background, then sometimes they grow much faster though, because they come with a whole different mindset, which I had to develop over years. So but then also you find people growing up with everything and have absolutely zero ambition. So
right. You never know.
Yeah, you just don't know, right?
Do you think entrepreneurs are made or they're born? What's your honest opinion?
Born.
Really?
Well, I don't know. That's what's in my impulsive answer. I wasn't prepared for the question. I'd say born, but
I think so too. I think we're all born with it, and some of it have it beaten out of us.
Yeah.
Or we have a bad experience or something, and we decide that that's not a safe play.
I think the same way you can lose it, even though you have it due to bad experiences. It can be created if you don't naturally maybe have it. So there's definitely some crossovers, right. But some people definitely have it growing up. I mean, in all kind of circumstances.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm thinking.
So were you a good student?
Very good.
Yeah.
Really? Like I was like almost the best in the whole school. I was part of like a special program.
But what was it? Just come easy to you, or was it something that was important?
No, it came very easy. And in fact, I was kind of pissing off everybody just a little bit because I was the guy not doing the homework because I felt like, why do I need to do it? I just did it like on the fly while the class was going on. And the epiphany of it was when I wrote how do you say that in English? Like when there's a test, right? Mm-hmm. So we wrote a test about a book, which I promise I never read. I didn't read it, and I got 15 points out of 15. So, and the reason how I could do that is simply in the class, they would always recap what was in the chapter anyway. So it was like, why do I have to read it? Tomorrow they're going to talk about it, right? So, and that, like my best friend is like, I can't even believe this. I studied like 8 hours. Did a really good grade too. I remember that very particular one, but I didn't even read it. So, and the thing is, and I was a very good student, and my motivation to get good grades, already back then I remember very well, was so one day I could make a lot of money. Because I thought you have to be a very good student to go to a very good university, get a very good job to make a lot of money, because ultimately the drive for freedom also was why I was good at school.
Were your parents entrepreneurial?
Not at all.
Not at all?
No, nothing. So that's why, and I didn't even know entrepreneurs. In fact, I knew one friend in school, his parents, they owned
Did you think the path to being wealthy was to get a good job?
Yes, for a long time I thought so. And I had one friend, his parents had a cleaning business. So they would have, employees that went into offices cleaning, and there was like an entrepreneur family. They had the nice car and everything. So I thought it was good. But my parents always portrayed the picture to me, these are bad people. Because they
must be doing something dishonest.
Look at how much money they're making. And there are people working for them. Look at how little money they're making. Those cleaning people.
Interesting.
Bad family.
Interesting. Yeah. So,
but I always hanged out with him because I loved it.
I get it. Yeah. So you graduated high school. Did you go to college?
Yeah.
University?
Yes, but then I quit.
For how long were you in university?
1.5 years. So it's three semesters.
Did you kind of look around and say, "What am I doing this for?" Or what?
Here was my downfall in my academic career. They allowed us to have a laptop in class, which wasn't allowed in school, but it was allowed in university. But I was already in network marketing. So guess what I did? I built my network marketing business, being in school, like in uni. And the craziest point was this, that we were learning for a test, and kind of I was trying to do the same way in school, like just like last minute, just learn everything. But in university, it's kind of different because it's a lot of stuff, and I didn't pay attention for like 6 months, and then trying to catch up with it, that was a little bit more difficult.
Once you get behind, yeah.
Yes, and the craziest part was when one guy asked me, "So what do you think about this class and this and that?" I was like, "We have a class like that?" And I wasn't even aware that we have that class. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm not really, being present. And then it got to a point when, so my dream was always to go to Hawaii. Hawaii, for me, I like being a German guy, like Hawaii is like, it's like paradise.
Was there like a TV show that made you think about Hawaii?
No, I have no idea why. It was just Hawaii for me is like, one day I'm going to be in Hawaii, right? And the thing is, fourth semester, it was planned like that, was a foreign semester. And I applied at Honolulu Hawaiian Pacific University. And because it was good, I got accepted. Even my 3 best friends, they got accepted at the same university. And I was like, this is going to be like, can you imagine? My 3 best friends and I in Hawaii, living the dream, right? But I started to build my network marketing business. Now think about it, that was pre-technology, even pre-Facebook, we didn't use it. And I realized there's a problem. If I go and leave my business, which was a face-to-face business at the point, for 6 months, it's all gone. Mm-hmm. And that was the first time I remembered consciously I had to take a hard decision, a hard sacrifice.
Say no.
To stay in network marketing, to not lose my business. Because up until then, it was just fun, amazing, great. I got this business on the side and all, but that was the first time I made a conscious decision and I said no. And that there was a lot of consequences to that. That meant I had to quit the entire thing. I can't just not do the next 6 months and then jump back in. So that led into a whole bunch of troubles. My parents got very upset. They made me pay back all the money they paid for university, like put me in debt and stuff. With my parents, and they're really like, if they say it, I gotta pay back. Like there's no room for negotiation. My mom was pretty military in her approach. Yeah, and then I kept building, and then I went full time, and it was a disaster. I didn't know what to do. I put myself under so much pressure.
When was this?
That must have been like when I was 21 years old.
14 years ago.
You're what, 30? 16 years ago.
You're 36 now?
36, yeah.
Yeah. So 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
You put yourself, you decide to go full time.
Yeah.
And when some people go full time in network marketing, they don't know what to do with themselves, because
exactly.
they have this little resistance and pressure and limited time and urgency to be able to do it when it's part time. When it's full time, they just have all this stuff. Yes. And they don't know how to organize it.
Exactly. And now imagine...
Is that what happened?
Exactly, that's what happened. It was very efficient being a part-time network marketer, and it was an absolute disaster, pressurous situation when I was full-time. Now it was all on me. I had to make the money. I didn't know what to do with all the time. I kind of artificially shortened my day by sleeping in and going to the movies at night. That's when I developed a little movie addiction back then. So my day was shorter, so I don't feel so lost. I felt so lost.
Yeah.
And also I'm
an ocean of time.
And I was a natural introvert, still am, but now due to network marketing, I developed that whole other side as well. But truth is, I was thinking, Eric, if you want to be this legend network marketer, if you want to be successful, the only way to do it is you got to be on 100% every time you have to speak to any person. Like you walk through the street, there's a nice looking, dressed type of person. You got to talk to this person, and you have to, because if not, it's a missed opportunity. And how can you expect? And I put myself under so much pressure. I hate to talk to strangers. It's so far outside of my comfort zone. It's unbelievable. And so I see all my friends in Hawaii, and I'm stuck. Like it was terrible. And it led me to technically quit network marketing over time because...
Did you ever get a job after that?
Yeah, what happened was... so I got a job before that because I needed more money to grow faster. So I got a job to finance my network marketing business. Programming an online store. Yeah. Because I was good back then with computers, like really, and that. And so I made money. And my parents, they were like, they brainwashed you. Like, you get a job to pay for another job? Who does that? I was like, it's not like that. You don't understand. But so what I did then, I met a guy through my first company that he was in real estate and he was very successful. So check this out. His house where he lived was in like a very prestigious place in Germany, and he paid rent. He lived for rent, and it was $3,000 a month. I remember that. I'll never forget the number. And I thought, who does that? Who pays $3,000 a month for their home? That is ridiculous. Can you imagine this? Obviously, knowing how we think and live today, you were just saying, would you believe that one day I would buy $1,000 sneakers? But back then, for me, he was the richest guy I knew. And he was in real estate. So I started to get, be close with him. And we ended up building a real estate company from scratch. A great time. I learned so much. So I was a real entrepreneur for 3-4 years. We built that from scratch, but kind of my network marketing kind of died down at that point.
So you kind of get through this. You get a taste of the real world, all that stuff. What relit the fire for network marketing?
After 3 years in the traditional business, it was all good and friends and family when we're not making money. When we then finally started to make money, all of a sudden they came up with all this crazy creativity. Why I can't make, because the deal was I was making 25% of profit. My parents advised me against taking 25% of equity because at foundation of the company, they offered me I take 25% and he'll take 75%. Which would have been a very good thing to do. My parents were, are you crazy? What about the risk? Like, what if again, no knowledge about being an entrepreneur. This company, can you imagine, still exists today. Became one of the biggest companies in Mallorca, building tons of projects now. I was technically an owner and I wasn't an owner. And that bit me in the back in the end. And the company had all of a sudden beautiful expenses, beautiful cars and all that. There was no profit left for me to take my 25%. So that pushed me kind of back into doing something for myself. And what I remember about network marketing was, even though it was hard in my subjective experience back then to get a lot of money on the check, the check just came. No questions asked. The computer was doing the math, take the money. We don't care. But because it was like, you're so young, why you owe this money?
There was no they weren't
just got the money.
They weren't putting pressure on you for paying the money.
And if you made a lot of money, you didn't have to hide it. But in fact, everybody was applauding you. It was like, tell us how you do it. Come on. Like, I love this versus don't talk to the other person how much you're making because then they're going to be angry.
So did you seek out network marketing or somebody seek out you?
Somebody called me that I really, really respected. And she told me, there's this company coming. You will not believe it. In their marketing video, they say, lock up. It says, to our competitors, lock up you leaders. Like, you got to see this company. This is crazy. I was like, I don't really know. I was convinced at the time that in Germany, it doesn't work. It only works in the United States. That's interesting, by the way. In Europe, that's the thing. Every country, they say, in Italy, no way. In Portugal, nah. Germany doesn't work. In Berlin, even less. Munich, forget about it. But where it works, that's an American thing. Network marketing is an American thing. And quick side story, 2004, I was at my first international convention, Atlanta, Georgia Dome. There was Jim Rohn, the only time in my life I saw him. I got to see him, okay? And he pointed at I was sitting so high, I had fear of heights because it was so high in the stadium. He pointed all the way up there and said, if you're sitting all the way in the back, I promise you, your time will come. And I felt him saying that to me. And in my book, I wrote a book. That's the first thing on the page. So can you imagine? So anyway, so I'm in the US, first time in my life, right? And I find one. I mean an American. And I go to him and I said, bro, I have a question. Please tell me, what company are you with? He's like, what do you mean? Well, network marketing. This is the US, from dishwasher to millionaire, like network marketing. Like, this is the place. What company are you with? He's like, dude, are you crazy? Network marketing? Everybody hates this shit over here. Maybe in Europe. And I had to laugh so much.
No
that
way.
really happened. He's like, maybe in Europe. And I was like, oh my God. So they say this everywhere. But I had to travel all the way to figure that out.
Yep. So you get the fire relit. Somebody calls you that you respect and you say, okay, I'm going to go to work. And you start building and, couple things happened. When did we get introduced?
So
when did I come on the radar for you?
So the next 2 to 3 plus years, it was kind of like a little network marketing disaster. I had weird sponsors that would lie to me. I had a company that after 8 weeks just disappeared with the money. I mean, really the ugly of network marketing, because I was so inexperienced. I didn't have a network, no trusted partners, nothing, like obviously all in the knowledge we have today. But then what happened in 2010 is really when I started to build the team that I'm having today. So that for me was the decision to kind of go pro without taking the decision to go pro, because that I learned from you just about a year after that. So I got involved, I signed up with $1 million earner, which for me was an absolute must, because at some point I figured out, okay, I don't have mentorship. I don't know who to follow. I need somebody that's producing results now. Kind of back then it was just like everybody built it before I was born and they live off it. So I knew the dream was real. I just didn't know if anybody can still do it today. And so I signed up with a guy, and then, so if I really think, how did we get to know each other? I mean, I really don't know. All I know is at some point I showed up at GoPro, and it wasn't the first one. It was the second one, if I'm not mistaken. So the second one you ever did, I showed up, loved it. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is a like these words, it's a profession. That had such a deep meaning to me, because before it was like a game. And then I was thinking, you got to be lucky to be successful. For years, I was thinking that I will not be that lucky. Like, it'd be amazing. And just for the option of it, I will continue working. But to be honest, I knew I would never be at the top, because I will never be that lucky. And then your words that it's not luck, it's not guesswork, it's a profession and you can learn it. And you would even say what to learn. And then the book came. This magical book, ladies and gentlemen, changed my life, changed my organization's life. I credit a huge breakthrough in my business because of the clarity that you provided here on what are the steps, what is it? Because even you say to someone, oh, you can learn this business. Okay, great, but what do I have to learn? And you specified that in here. It was huge, huge game changer. And that's when everything started. So
you started to professionally, start to build a team.
Yeah.
And then this moment comes when at some event, I encouraged everybody to really go all out.
Yeah.
You know, take a 90-day game plan and swing your life way out of balance and change the game. You know, because what I learned from my experience is that you can literally change your life in 90 days. It really can happen. And very few people are willing to go as hard as is necessary in order to be able to get the velocity to be able to do that.
Yep.
But if you do, it goes big. So tell that story. You're sitting there with your friend in the audience, and you say to each other.
So I got one guy with me. We look at each other. Eric proposed the idea, 90 days change your life. I was like, come on, bro. I was just at a point in my business, I was at a plateau. Couldn't push through it. I was recruiting for like 16 months, every month. I did my job. I wasn't just going through the motion. I did my job. I recruited 3 to 4 people. I was doing the presentations. I was motivated and everything. But it was just some of those times that I guess everybody goes through. There was some negativity going around. I was like trying to, talk against it, but the flood was just of negativity was just washing over me. And then you say, oh, you can change your life in 90 days. I was like, I couldn't do it in 16 months. Like, why now I could do it in 90 days? But then you brought up the $1 million earners and you asked them, can you remember a time? And they said, yes, we can. I was like, interesting. Never knew about this. Like, it was completely new to me. And then you asked, how much % would you attribute to your success today? And they said high numbers, like 60%, 90%. And then you asked the magical question, have you ever given it a true 100%? And how important is that business to you? And I was talking to my friend, I said, how important is it to you? He's like, right up there with oxygen. I was like, same. I live it. I dream about it. I speak about it. Like, I'm obsessed with it. But have you ever, I was like, for real, have you ever given it a true 100%? And he said, no. And me, honestly, no. Why? We're doing this for years. He's asking us for 90 days. I was like, all right, let's do it. I was so ready. I just needed to hear those words to kind of allow myself to do that and to get in that space. I've just never thought about it. And without any preparation. Today, I tell this story many times and people ask all these fancy questions. Well, how did you prepare? What was your strategy?
You just went.
What did you do? I don't know. I was just having one thought, whose time had come. Give it your absolute everything. Figure out the rest. And I did that.
How many hours a day were you working?
You proposed something. You proposed some kind of an agenda. Started 8 in the morning until midnight. That's a 16-hour day. I remember your words. You said a lot of people talk about 16-hour days, that they did it once. Nobody has done it 90 days in a row. If you're full-time, if you're part-time, go to your job for 8 hours, put another full 8 hours, a full work day in your network marketing, and then sleep and, eat, do all other stuff. So I went with that. And what happened then, I kind of really took that idea of giving it my absolute everything to the very ceiling. And I extended the hours. At some point it was like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. At some point it got so crazy just to really have that understanding. I stopped sleeping at all. And I bought a meditation, like a deep meditation CD, like an audio, which claimed, if you listen to this for 30 minutes, it equates 4 or 5 hours of deep sleep. So, and there was this audio, and we would lie down and listen, and the guy would count down 10, and you walk into like the forest, 9. And in the end, he would count back up. And until today, I cannot tell you what's on the thing, because it took about 6 seconds to fall asleep, because I was so tired. And I woke back up, and we went going to work. And like little details, like for example, know the moment when you sleep and you wake up just a little bit, you're like, I'm still so tired, and you like sleep more. Just this tiny little thing. So I developed this instinct in the moment I open my immediately to stand up and start working. It doesn't matter what time it was. Like it's not normal. I get it. But I pushed it so hard. And then people say, oh yeah, but what do you do at like 4 a.m. in the morning? Like who do you talk to? Well, at that point, we had Facebook, open Facebook. There's a green dot next to everybody that's active. Some are still awake. Some are already awake. Others are on another part of the country or the planet or whatever. There's always something to do. Or I love a flip chart. I had a good old flip chart in front of me. I wrote down everything. I remember one morning that was magic. We had a promotion going on and stuff. And I went through my downline, through my people, and I took one. Okay, Ute. Okay, let me look at Ute's business real in depth right now. And I looked at, okay, what would be the perfect world for her in the next 60 days? What's the promotion she could take? What's the rank she could reach? What would she have to do specifically to get there? And what will be the end result? And then I texted Ute like 5 a.m. in the morning. Call me urgently when you wake up. So she wakes up 7:30, like, oh my God, what's going on? Hey, Danien, it's really early. Like, don't worry about it. Listen, I couldn't sleep tonight. I walked through all your business. Did you know that you can make $6,490 in the next 55 days? And she's like, why? Like she maybe made $1,300. I was like, look, all you have to do is you got to bring in 3 people, help them get 2, because then you qualify for this. And then if we help this guy get that rank, that will give you enough volume. If you just do a little bit more than that. And she's like, that's crazy. Let's work on this. So I kind of like, it's interesting when you really get into the space and you start to really create the vision and make people see something that they're not seeing. What a potential you can exponate from that.
Right.
So
when you immerse yourself, total obsession, total immersion. You're like underwater inside the whole thing. Yeah. Breathing through a straw. But your income when you started this was how much?
$5,000-$6,000.
And after 2 months, what was it?
So the first 2 weeks, nothing really moved. That was pretty interesting. So I was there, outrageous
and most
conversation.
People quit doing it after 2 weeks because they tried hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, the first day, I was thinking, I don't even know how to do this. Because if you, for example, take, and I was saying that in your accelerator program and the deep training that we just did, actually, I was talking about that. I did, to get started, to kind of get things moving, I put 100 people and I said, let me send everybody a message, like audio, for 100 people to kind of get them, like invite them to have a look and like empowering 100% energy and all this. It took me about 4 hours almost. I was sweating because I was really putting because the rule was put 100%. So real passion, 100 times. And I was done with it and I was like, water, like I need water, And I was like, well, this is interesting. I look at my watch and it's like 11:45 a.m. in the morning of the first day.
You're exhausted.
And I was like, I'm exhausted. I can't talk anymore. My phone's out of battery. And it's like, this is the first morning. I got another 12 hours to go today and another 89 days. So I was like, that's why nobody's doing it, So you can really put so much activity into your day. Today somebody says 90 days. I'm thinking it's an eternity of time. It's so much time. Oh my God. Just like it can go like this, you can really take every minute of it.
So the first 2 weeks, what kept you going when you weren't getting big results?
Because I said, I'm going to finish what I started. And I was so in the mood. For me, I was curious above all to find out what would happen. I didn't in the very beginning I did not believe what really happened. So the result completely over exceeded my expectation. But I knew I was just going to finish it, you know? And so the first 2 weeks, nothing really moved.
Was your friend running with you?
Yes.
And did he want to quit?
We kind of almost lived together.
Did he want to quit it ever?
No, we kind of, no.
We pushed each other?
Yeah. We pushed each other. And so I kept going.
When did you start seeing results?
Week 3.
Week
3, really. See, I saw results due to how many people was asking questions, all of that. It got really, really busy. I had that backup plan for me that if nobody would do anything, worst case, what I would do, I was just going to make 10 invitations a day. Rather than 2 or 3 a day, I'd make 10. Because in my head, I was like, okay, cool. Worst case, I'm going to talk to almost 1,000 people in 90 to 100 days. Sponsor 1 out of 10. I'll sponsor 100 people frontline. I'd be a legend in my company. Nobody did that. So that's like my backup plan if nobody do anything. But true story was after I really, did this first 100 messages and did like personal conversation with about 60 to 70 people, I couldn't get to any other person in the list because things multiplied like crazy. So I saw more activity. I just didn't see really more volume.
So first 2 weeks, not that much.
But then it really went up. And then
it opens in week 3 and then...
And then 3, 4, 5, and 6, I made $98,000.
By the end of...
Like by day number 55.
55. You got to almost $100,000 a month.
And that was more money than I had ever seen. Like to the point I remember the last night. Okay, let me describe this. I've never really talked about this part, but this is very interesting. So if you imagine doing a sport, have you played sports when you were young? What did you do?
Everything.
Okay, so remember these days, it was very rare, but there were moments you could do stuff, you can't. Like you don't have the ability, this doesn't come out of your skill, but it's just, I call it flow. For some reason, let's say it's football, you run, you see the target, you see the right up corner, and you know exactly you're going to shoot it in there. And before you shoot, you know it's going to go in there. There's no doubt. And you make that shot, and it's like, how do you do that shot? I was playing table tennis, let's say he smashed in my backhand. I'm 3 meters behind the table and just smash it back. I don't even think about it. I smash it back. I can't, it's not a shot that I know to do, but there's just these rare moments you can. And that's a little bit the state that I want to describe that I got myself into in network marketing at that point. My sponsor called me and he said, bro, because see, my target was this. I had a rank, but I was paid way under this rank. 5 levels less. Think about that, okay? So I had a good check kind of once and I dropped all the way down to like 5,000-6,000 when I started. And my whole thing was like, if I could get back to that rank, this would just be, oh my God, this would be unbelievable. And at some point when we started to pick up, my sponsor called me and says, listen, if you were to take just the next rank, then I could become, and we're great friends, so I wanted to also run for him. It's like, I could become top 3 in the company. That would be huge for us. Do you think you could do that for me? It's like, bro, I'm like dreaming and like I'm ripping my heart out here to get back to paid rank. But you know what? Why not? I'm just going to say yes. But just once, I want you to know, just for the record, I have no idea how I'm going to get there. Just so you know. But now I'll forget that and I'll just act as if I'm going to go to my flip chart now, rip out the page with my plan, put a bigger number on there and just make it happen as if I would know. Is that a deal? He's like, it's a deal. Done. And I did that exactly like this. And bam, 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 we go crazy, stay resourceful. I always thought about Tony Robbins' words. If you are not successful, then it's not because of a lack of resources, but it's because of a lack of your own resourcefulness to get the resource, right? So don't blame it on, I don't have the money, I don't know how to talk to anything like that. Find solutions and get it done. So I did that. Volume really picked up. I was so proud. I was about to make it. So I called up Calvin and I said, bro, we got 2 more days. I don't want to get you too excited, but I think I can do it. I think I can do it. I think I can hit the next rank. And I was so proud to be able to make that phone call, right? Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And he says, that's great, Danien, but there's a problem. I said, what's the problem? This is the greatest phone call I ever made. He said, my Hong Kong business is not doing as much volume as I thought it was going to do. And I'm really far off. But if you could push to the next rank, then I would make it. I was like, the next rank? What are you even... I got 2 days left in this month. What are you even talking about? That doesn't even make any sense. He said, bro, I know, but can you try? And I said, look, at this point, I didn't care anymore, Eric. It was crazy. At this point, I was like, you know what? Just for the record, I just want you to know I have no idea how to get there, but I'll forget that right now. I'll rip up my flip chart. I put the bigger number and all that. And I remember we had, and again, this is a long time ago, right? So what I had to do was 70,000 CV. That was about $150,000. Back then, that was an unreasonable number in 48 hours. Like it was not even remotely. I had 20 to go when I called him in order to get that other rank. And he said, put another 50 on top of it. And I was like, all right. So I put the new number and I was thinking, what would be the craziest, most outrageous thing that I could do for my team that everybody would just do anything? What would be the biggest thing? So I had a young group, right? And there was this club in Frankfurt. Club was called the Micro, and it was famous for not being able to get in. Like you can't even get in. They like turned down even celebrities, and it was like, okay. So I just put it on the board and I said, if we are going to make this, I called it Project 70,000 for the lack of a better name because I needed 70,000 points. And that video is still on YouTube today. If you want, like I quickly dressed up and everything, did a video. It was crazy. So in any case, I said, look guys, if we're going to do it, and I know we're going to do it because we're going to do everything we say, not just are we going to make a party in that club, but we're going to shut down the club on a Saturday and we'll dictate who gets in. Eric had no idea how much that's going to cost. I didn't even know if that was possible. I didn't even know who I would have to speak to. And I didn't have no time to ask because I got 2 days left. I just put it on the paper and I said, I'm going to figure it out. We did it. The last night when we did it, I was waiting for the volume to update. And I remember when the volume showed, I was like, what have I just done? That was day 55. In that moment, I knew I'm done. I don't have another phone call in me. So what happened is I ended the run there and all I wanted was go to sleep finally, right? So go to sleep and I can't sleep. So weird. Like we're so used to our habits. Now I couldn't sleep. So I put on my sunglasses, went having breakfast, ordered some eggs, looked at the people around me and I said, I thought, I just won a freaking Olympic gold medal, but nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows what I just did. I made 100,000. Oh my God. Nobody knows. I look like a normal young kid.
What a great story. And I will tell you, you've been driven by this same type of, you've repeated that pattern many times.
Yeah.
I mean, we've worked together for many years now, but I remember last spring, pandemic just started.
Same thing.
And you were shooting for a major rank, like to double the size of your business within 90 days. So tell that story.
So what happened was, see, the most powerful lesson from this first 90-day run was not just that happened, but because I did it, I knew I can do it again.
Yeah.
This is
and what was the party like at that club?
Oh, do you know how that played out?
Yeah.
So what happened is I then spoke to the company and all of that, and we ended because the company was then looking for an event, and then I made the company together with me really get that club, and that party actually did happen. I mean, of course it did happen. I promised it, and it was unbelievable. Yeah. It was just unbelievable.
Just epic.
Yeah. It was unbelievable.
All right. So this and
I had to figure it out. I had to use the company. Like the company was helping with the money. I was paying a part. They were paying a part. Like kind of that thing.
So I want everybody to know he ended up meeting the love of his life as he was building his business. She was a top earner. He was a top earner. Stefania Legato Feier, who's just amazing woman.
Yes.
And they're a power couple. And today they make many millions of dollars every year and growing. And where a lot of people sometimes would slow down, their ambition would fade. These two, their ambition is accelerating. So I would like to know why your ambition is accelerating. And then I would like you to tell the story of this last spring.
Yeah. So I really ask myself this question because people always say, why are you working so much? Why are you pushing so hard? I mean, shouldn't you now take it easy and all of this? Again, at one of your GoPros. I mean, I'm telling you guys, if you're watching this video, probably you've been at GoPro. If you haven't, there is no excuse.
Yeah.
You should be at GoPro. You should be especially at GoPro this year because it's going to be the most epic GoPro that ever.
GoPro2021.com. You can go get the information.
So
get yourself registered.
So it was another GoPro that I kind of reflected, and I came up with one word on why I'm so driven, and the word is mastery. What really, really drives me is mastery. I love people. that master something. I don't care if you're a dentist.
Artists.
But if you're a dentist and you're an artist dentist and you have the Saudi royal family take their Boeing private jet to fly to come to you, I want to get to know you because there's something about you that the obsession, you know, that is just attractive. Now in my life, what it is, the biggest entrepreneurial love of my life, it's network marketing. It's what's changed my life. So I want to be at a mastery level. And if I don't, I feel like I'm missing out. And what really pushes me is unrealized potential drives me crazy. Like I look at things that I could do and it's not fully in fruition yet. I want to see it come to fruition. I want to see the fruit it can produce, you know. And the problem is in our business, there's so many things we can do. I mean, I'm overwhelmed with opportunity all around me, and so I just have to develop it, push it. I have that vision to design $1 billion team, and it is going to be $1 billion team. But the question that comes back at that is, okay, if you want to do $1 billion team, who do you have to be? So who do I have to be? At what type of a level do I have to operate? How does my organization, my systems have to look like? You know, imagine you're LeBron, you play at the Lakers. You don't play anywhere else. So how can I become, with my team, how can we become the Lakers so that the greatest in the world will say, these are my people. Mm-hmm. That's where I put the exclamation mark behind my career, and that pushes me for excellence in every sense of the word. And we've done crazy things. I mean, we've had an event in Egypt with 24,000 people of our downline in a stadium. I've seen that stuff only on Amway videos on YouTube, like 40 years ago, you know what I mean? And we did that. Whole companies enrolling and we importing the whole database and the crazy stuff. People that I was learning from years ago, signing up in my business now. And so, but it's still just the beginning. We're on track. I mean, very, very, very openly speaking, we're on track to do 100 million this year in sales.
As a group?
Yeah, as my team, yeah.
Yep.
And while I'm saying I feel a little bit ashamed because it's really not so big yet when I talk about $1 billion, but on the other side, it's just 10x from there. And good old Grant Cardone.
Yep.
He's the man. I mean, he will teach us and he will teach me and you will help me and everything and we'll do it. And see, the thing is, it's already done.
So
anyways.
What was the monthly volume last January, let's say, a year ago January?
Yeah. So
January 2020.
So the January 2020 volume was about, I would say, 1 million CV, so about $2 million.
Okay, February.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're asking me now. We went up to 8 million in 90 days. So we went 400%.
Yeah.
In 90 days.
Like 2 million.
I can tell you. I know now. So we went from 1 million a month. CV, which is $2 million.
So count the dollars.
Okay, so like $2 million. We went to $4 million.
Yep.
We went to something like $5 million a month after, and then $8 million a month after.
So you went from 2 to 8 in 90 days.
Yes, and here's how it happened. The pandemic started. And I found myself looking at the infection rates every day. Like I updated that website. Oh, this is crazy. Everybody's getting infected and all like that. Not that I was crazy worried. It was just kind of like a little bit addictive to see what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, wait a minute. What am I doing? Like I'm completely getting sucked into this, this media narrative and everything. It was like, what if that happens to my team? That's terrible. So I was like, stop that. And I had an urgent call with my leaders and I said, guys, here's what we have to do. If we don't want to lose our business in the pandemic, because also I was very proud of our offline infrastructure. We had meetings all over the place. I mean, we had meetings in a night, probably sometimes almost 20 live meetings happening in 20 different cities at the same time. And I was proud of that. And that was about to all shut down. And we were using online, but not as like a primary thing. So we had this urgent call and I said, guys, we have two options. Either our business is going to go down or we are going to create a new narrative. We're going to bring out a story. We're going to create a vision. I want the calendar of events online so full. They have no chance to escape from what we're saying, where we're going, the positivity and all that stuff. And that triggered a new run. And we said, and then that was also then a conscious decision to say, okay, let's make this another run. And by the way, I did another 2 a few years back also that you don't know about, also radical results. So every time I did it 4 times now. And I'm about to do the 5th one on the 1st of May. We're in the Whisper campaign right now. I'm already exhausted because my sleep's getting short. But the truth is, so I did it 4 times. So in this one, I hit triple diamond. And our company was acquired in 2015, came over with a database, I'd say more than 2 million distributors. No one of those 2 million distributors took the rank that I have now. So I'm the only one. And I'm proud of that.
You should be. You should be. So I will ask you a personal question. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
Let's go.
What do you expect your net worth to be 10 years from today?
I gotta be a billionaire.
I think a billionaire.
The truth is, I always had the number 500 million in my head.
So, and if you explain how you're going to get there, it's not just from your network marketing earnings.
No.
So how are you going to get there?
So I view my network marketing income as the funding source of investment.
The seeds.
Exactly. It's like the seed capital. It's the cash flow. It's one of the most important parts of the whole story, because you got to have that cash flow in order to be able to then work with the cash. And I'm pretty sure that I can get to $1 million a month, for example, in my network marketing business, potentially
in earnings.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is definitely going to happen. I'm also sure potentially even we can maybe make 2 million, like between my wife and I. She makes $1 million, I make $1 million a month. Very possible, and we'll do it. But can I really go to, like, let's say 20 million a month or 50? Nah, I just don't. I don't know. Maybe I still got to grow there, but for now, I don't really see that as the main game plan. But what I see is that at some point, first, it's like this. First, you hope to make any money in network marketing, and you make a check and like, oh my God, I made a check. Like it actually works, and it's some fun money, right? Mm-hmm. At some point, the next level would be like, I want to make a little bit like serious money. Maybe upgrade my apartment, maybe drive a better car, pay the kids' school or something, and you accomplish that. Then you have that dream, maybe go full time. You know, if you do it really in a, let's say, conservative way, your network marketing income should be about double maybe what your main income is in order to safely make that transition. And all of us never did it safely. We did it all too early, but then it somehow worked out. But the point is, then that's that. So your network marketing now makes more than your job, and then you have your network marketing income. And then at some point, hopefully, which happened to me, it gets very, very big, and you can live an amazing lifestyle on your network marketing income. But then there's another level to that, because here's where everybody stops. But there's another level to that then your money should also start to make money. And just a few years ago, I was terrible at that. And I would still say I'm not the greatest investor at all. I'm still learning. I'm really a student there in this area on how to invest and how to get my money to make money. And it's the same thing. Oh, my money just made a little bit of money by itself. Now you have a little bit, extra profit. Like the beginning when your network marketing made a little bit of money. And then the money makes more. And where I want to really get to, Eric, is I want to maximize my network marketing income to really like $1 million a month plus between each of us, maybe individually. But I still want this money to be small potatoes. They're really like, yeah, there's $1 million or $2 million coming in a month, but it doesn't really matter. I don't really need it. Mm-hmm. So that's where I want to get to. And again, it's going to happen through investments. Through different type of investments.
I believe you. I'm absolutely convinced. Let me ask you kind of final line of thought. How important is it to think bigger? And what lessons have you learned about giving yourself permission to expand your mind's capacity to soak in the possibility of something?
It's absolutely everything. And it's shocking because it's kind of like you think you learned that lesson and you didn't. And I didn't.
Whatever you thought you were dreaming big was still small when you look back.
Right? It's
and then like this time I'm really dreaming big. No, that's still small. It's still small. It's a step. But I'm in the same boat as you. I will tell you, it's like I feel like I've just latched onto something recently that really, truly, it sounds like a cliche, but the only limits are our imagination, really. And if we can get our imagination clear, then anything's possible. Because of this, because of a phone, because of technology, because of where the world is right now and the shifts that are happening in the world and the fact that we can get in front of them, the fact that we build such powerful networks to be able to leverage and provide value to the world. We control the time and attention and eyeballs of millions of people.
It's true.
we haven't even flexed our muscle yet. So the real potential of what's available to us is enormous, and the value that we can bring to the world is enormous. So this was a big conversation, designed to be a big conversation, designed to expand. Everybody's watching, designed to expand their vision of what might be possible. Maybe even make you feel a little uncomfortable. And the reason why I wanted to tell it from the beginning to where it is now is if we just talk about where it is now, it seems unattainable. It seems impossible. But when you talk about struggle, start over, this and that, the different things, and then unlock this piece. It's like a video game. Then you unlock the next piece. Mm-hmm. And then you start thinking different. You unlock the next piece. Your vision expands. You unlock the next piece. I know that the world is going to be better because of you. And I know that you're just warming up. Like Marina and I, we're just warming up. People have no idea. And people are smart enough to get around you or get around us are going to make more money than if they didn't. So thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your stories. Thank you for your example. And I really appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And you guys, I mean, you both, you and Marina, really, you're a big reason for us to push even bigger, think even bigger. I mean, it started all these years back with a book and then led into new thoughts, led into bigger events, led into bigger people at the events, painting that bigger picture, and still until today. I mean, I always, when people ask me, like, who inspires you most? I mean, you're around these people, like around these names right there. And sometimes people say they're a little bit surprised when they hear your name. When I say that, not because of you as a person, just because like, yeah, but GoPro, I mean, can you really still learn something? That's what they're saying, because they're thinking you're about the skills in GoPro. And yes, you have an amazing gift to teach the skills of network marketing, a unique ability. I just said before, in the accelerated program, for me, you're like the Jim Rohn in 2021 for the network marketing industry. But then you are so much more. Between you and your wife, Marina, really, she inspires me like few people in the recent years. And I keep talking to my wife, Stefania, and I say, man, Marina, she is a badass. Unbelievable. And I'm blessed to have a wife like that as well, that she's really constantly thinking bigger. And sometimes she catches me thinking small. She said, are you serious right now? I don't even want to have this conversation. And then she leaves the room. I was like, okay, I get it, right? Sometimes we need that too. Yeah. And so yeah, I'm really blessed, and I appreciate that, and I recognize that. So I'm really, really thankful. And what you mentioned, getting around us, getting around bigger thinking people, it's everything. Yeah. Because if you think you're all that and you're all there, then you will not grow anymore. And to be honest, I feel very humbled. I don't feel like all that at all. I feel very humbled to be in some rooms, even because I know I'm not there yet. But it's a beautiful thing, and together we're going to make history happen. I'm excited, and thank you for the conversation.
No, it's my pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, Danien Feier. If you are challenging yourself to think bigger, maybe you need to listen to this a few more times. If you know somebody who needs to think bigger, maybe you should send this to them. Have this on permanent repeat. Have it burn a new groove in your brain. Have it unlock the potential of what's out there for you and your legacy, your purpose, your mission. So do that. And until next time, go out there and make your dreams come true and help other people do the same. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.